10 powerful things to tell yourself every morning. Most people wake up and immediately check their phone. Notifications, messages, news, problems. Within minutes, their mood, focus, and energy get shaped by external noise. They start the day reacting instead of leading. Neuroscience shows that the brain is highly suggestible in the first 20 to 30 minutes after waking. Cortisol levels peak naturally in the morning. This hormone increases alertness, but it also makes your mind more sensitive to stress. What you think during this window programs your emotional direction for the rest of the day. Researchers in cognitive behavioral therapy confirm that structured self-talk influences behavior, confidence, and stress tolerance. Studies on implementation intentions show that when you set clear mental statements early in the day, you increase the probability of disciplined action. Sports psychology research also proves that athletes who use deliberate morning mental cues perform with greater focus and emotional control. The Stoics practiced this long before modern science measured it. Marcus Aurelius used morning reflection to prepare for difficult people and unexpected events. In Meditations, he reminded himself that he would face selfishness, arrogance, and impatience. By preparing mentally, he reduced emotional shock. Epictetus taught that the quality of your life depends on the quality of your judgments. Seneca advised rehearsing adversity so you would not panic when it arrives. The Stoic morning practice was simple. Direct your thoughts before the world directs them. This video gives you 10 powerful things to tell yourself every morning. These are not empty affirmations. They are mental commands rooted in Stoic philosophy, behavioral science, and practical psychology. When repeated daily, they shape identity. Identity shapes action. Action shapes results. If you want stronger discipline, sharper focus, emotional control, and long-term resilience, apply these statements every morning for 30 days. Now let's begin. 1. I control my actions, not outcomes. Tell yourself this clearly. You control effort, choices, and attitude. You do not control external results. Modern psychology supports this through locus of control research. Studies show that people with an internal locus of control report lower stress levels and higher achievement over time. When you focus on controllable behaviors, you reduce helplessness. When you obsess over outcomes like money, praise, or recognition, you increase anxiety because those variables depend on other people and unpredictable events. Epictetus built his philosophy on this principle. He divided life into what is within your control and what is not. Your opinions, desires, and actions belong to you. Reputation, praise, status, and market conditions do not. When you confuse the two categories, frustration follows. When you separate them clearly, emotional stability improves. Every morning remind yourself, today I will focus on effort. I will measure my success by discipline, not applause. This shifts your attention from chasing validation to executing standards. If you prepare well, work with focus, and speak with integrity, you have already succeeded in what truly belongs to you. This mindset changes how you handle failure. If a deal falls through or a video underperforms, you evaluate your preparation, not your worth. You adjust strategy. You improve skill. You do not collapse emotionally because the result was never fully yours to command. This builds long-term resilience. High performers in sports and business use this same framework. Elite athletes train to control mechanics, preparation, and recovery, not the scoreboard. Leaders focus on process metrics, not public opinion. When you commit to controllable inputs every morning, you increase consistency. Consistency compounds. Over time, this habit reduces fear. Fear often comes from attachment to outcomes. When you detach from what you cannot govern, courage increases naturally. You take action because your identity depends on effort, not approval. You move forward because you judge yourself by standards you control. Start each day with this mental command. I control my actions. I release the rest too. Discomfort is training. Tell yourself that difficulty is not punishment. It is preparation. Research on stress inoculation in psychology shows that controlled exposure to stress improves coping ability. When you face manageable pressure, your brain reduces its threat response over time. Studies in performance psychology show that athletes and military personnel who train under realistic stress perform better in real conditions. Your nervous system adapts. Your confidence increases because you have proof that you can handle strain. Seneca advised practicing poverty occasionally so wealth would not control you. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that obstacles are part of the path. The Stoics did not avoid hardship. They rehearsed it mentally and sometimes physically. They trained their minds to remain steady when comfort disappeared. When you wake up, expect friction. Meetings may fail. Plans may change. People may disappoint you. If you expect ease, you react with frustration. If you expect resistance, you respond with composure. Anticipation reduces shock. Prepared minds stay calmer under pressure. Say this clearly in the morning. Discomfort is training for my character. This turns setbacks into repetitions. Each inconvenience becomes a mental workout. Traffic trains patience. Criticism trains emotional control. Delays train discipline. Over time, this approach builds toughness without bitterness. You stop asking why this is happening to me and start asking what this is strengthening in me. That shift builds endurance. It builds focus. It builds self-trust. 3. I will respond, not react. Reaction is emotional. Response is deliberate. Neuroscience explains why this matters. When something triggers you, the amygdala activates within milliseconds. It prepares your body for threat. Heart rate rises. Muscles tighten. Words rush forward. The rational part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, needs more time to evaluate facts and consequences. If you speak before it engages, emotion controls the outcome. Research in behavioral psychology shows that even a brief pause of 3 to 5 seconds reduces impulsive decisions. Simple techniques such as slow breathing or counting create space between stimulus and action. That space allows reasoning to catch up with emotion. Over time, practicing this pause strengthens neural pathways linked to self-control. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you always have the power to pause before forming a judgment. He reminded himself that events are neutral until you label them. The pause is not weakness. It is authority over your own mind. When you control interpretation, you control behavior. Tell yourself every morning, no matter what happens, I will pause before I respond. This prepares you for criticism, delays, disrespect, and unexpected problems. Instead of defending instantly, you observe. Instead of escalating conflict, you assess. This single habit prevents damage in relationships and career decisions. Leaders who master this skill build trust. They listen fully before speaking. They choose tone carefully. They separate emotion from strategy. Emotional intelligence research consistently links self-regulation with higher leadership effectiveness and better team performance. Personal stability grows from this practice. You stop feeling controlled by other people's moods. You stop regretting words spoken in anger. You begin to see that calm responses create better outcomes than emotional reactions. The pause becomes your advantage. 4. My reputation is built in small actions. Research on habit formation confirms that identity forms through repeated small behaviors. Studies by behavior scientists show that consistent micro-actions shape self-image and long-term outcomes more than occasional intense effort. You do not build character in one dramatic moment. You build it in daily choices. Seneca warned against living for public approval. He emphasized private integrity over public applause. He argued that character should remain steady whether people are watching or not. That standard creates internal stability. It prevents you from performing for validation. Tell yourself each morning, today I build my reputation through small disciplined actions. This statement shifts your focus from image to conduct. You stop asking how you look and start asking how you behave. Reputation then becomes a byproduct of consistency. Reply to emails with clarity. Arrive on time. Keep promises. Speak calmly. Prepare before meetings. Finish tasks without excuses. These actions seem minor, yet they signal reliability. Over months and years, people form judgments based on patterns, not speeches. Research in organizational psychology shows that trust grows from predictability. When others know how you will act, they feel secure working with you. Authority develops through steady performance. Respect grows when your words align with your actions. Small actions repeated daily create authority and respect. They also build self-respect. Each disciplined choice reinforces your identity. Over time, you no longer try to appear competent. You become competent through repetition. 5. I accept that not everyone will like me. Social rejection activates the same brain regions as physical pain. Brain imaging studies show overlap between social exclusion and physical injury responses. That is why criticism feels sharp and personal. But research in resilience psychology shows that people who separate their identity from external approval recover faster from rejection and perform better long term. Epictetus taught that if you want to improve, you must accept being misunderstood. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that people act from their own perceptions, not from objective truth. The Stoics valued virtue over popularity. They understood that chasing universal approval forces you to dilute your standards. Tell yourself each morning, I choose integrity over approval. This statement protects your decision making. It stops you from bending your values to avoid discomfort. It reminds you that respect earned through compromise is fragile. You will speak honestly even when your opinion is unpopular. You will set boundaries even if someone dislikes them. You will act according to principle instead of mood. This reduces inner conflict because your behavior aligns with your standards. Over time, this practice builds quiet confidence. You stop scanning rooms for validation. You stop measuring your worth by reactions. You understand that disagreement does not equal failure. Stability replaces insecurity. When you release the need to be liked by everyone, you gain clarity. You attract people who respect strength and consistency. More important, you respect yourself. 6. Today could be difficult. This is negative visualization, a Stoic technique called premeditatio malorum. The practice involves imagining challenges before they occur so you are mentally prepared when they do. It trains the mind to remain calm in the face of unexpected events and prevents overreaction. Psychological research confirms its value. Studies in cognitive behavioral therapy and performance psychology show that rehearsing potential setbacks reduces stress and improves problem solving. Athletes, surgeons, and military personnel use similar mental simulations to stay composed under pressure. Anticipating difficulty reduces surprise, which lowers emotional reactivity and preserves rational thinking. Tell yourself each morning, something may go wrong today. I am ready. Repeat it slowly. Visualize small daily disruptions, minor conflicts, or technical failures. See yourself navigating them calmly and efficiently. This builds confidence that you can handle adversity without losing control. When you adopt this mindset, you stop expecting a perfectly smooth day. You expect friction, setbacks, and irritation. Instead of being frustrated, you view these events as opportunities to practice composure. Each challenge becomes a chance to strengthen your character. Over time, this habit rewires your mind. Emotional storms no longer catch you off guard. You respond instead of reacting. You navigate pressure without panic. You become someone who handles life calmly, no matter what happens. Premeditating difficulties also improves decision making. When problems arise, your mind is already in problem-solving mode rather than panic mode. You act strategically rather than impulsively. This creates a consistent sense of control, even when events are chaotic. Finally, this morning affirmation strengthens long-term resilience. Life will always present obstacles. By reminding yourself of this daily, you train your nervous system, your focus, and your judgment. You approach each day prepared, calm, and capable, which fundamentally changes how challenges affect you. 7. I am responsible for my energy. Mood spreads. Behavioral science calls this emotional contagion. Research shows that people unconsciously mirror the emotional states of those around them. Your energy can uplift a team or amplify chaos. Leaders who manage their own energy create stability, focus, and productivity in their environment. Tell yourself each morning, I choose calm, focused energy. This is not about suppressing emotion but directing it intentionally. You decide whether irritation, frustration, or anxiety gains space in your mind. You also decide whether positivity, focus, and composure shape your actions. This mental command sets the tone for your interactions and your decisions throughout the day. Even if others complain, you will not amplify negativity. Studies in organizational behavior confirm that individuals who remain composed under stress influence the group to respond similarly. When one person models calm energy, others follow. You become a stabilizing presence rather than a reactive participant. Even if stress rises, you will ground yourself. Take slow breaths, reassess priorities, and remind yourself that energy is a choice. The morning affirmation of responsibility trains your nervous system to stay regulated. Over time, your mental and emotional consistency increases, improving relationships, influence, and leadership effectiveness. Your energy is a reflection of your inner state. By taking ownership every morning, you no longer let external circumstances dictate your mood. You anchor yourself in calm, focused, and productive energy. This habit reinforces personal discipline, strengthens resilience, and creates a presence that others naturally trust and respect. 8. Time is limited. Research on mortality awareness shows that reflecting on the temporary nature of life increases intentional action. Studies in psychology indicate that when people focus on the finite nature of time, they make choices that align with long-term goals rather than short-term distractions. Awareness of limited time sharpens priorities and reduces wasted effort. The Stoics practiced memento mori, reminding themselves that death is inevitable. They did not dwell on fear. Instead, they cultivated urgency and focus. By remembering that life is finite, they treated each day as a chance to act with purpose, integrity, and discipline. This practice prevents procrastination and mindless consumption of time. Tell yourself each morning, this day will never return. Consider the tasks, conversations, and decisions ahead. Decide which are meaningful and which are trivial. By anchoring your mindset in time awareness, you naturally reduce distractions and approach challenges with clarity and efficiency. When you internalize this principle, you stop wasting energy on negativity, gossip, or unnecessary comparison. Every moment becomes an opportunity to build skill, strengthen character, or create value. The awareness of mortality turns ordinary routines into deliberate practice. It enhances focus, motivation, and presence, allowing you to live each day intentionally. 9. I will improve one thing today. Incremental progress compounds. Research in behavioral economics and habit formation shows that small, consistent improvements led to long-term mastery. People who focus on tiny, daily gains outperform those who attempt large changes sporadically. Momentum builds when each action stacks upon the previous one. Tell yourself each morning, today I will improve one skill, one habit, or one decision. This statement narrows your focus and prevents overwhelm. Instead of trying to fix everything at once, you channel energy into one meaningful improvement. Small successes reinforce motivation and self-confidence. Choose deliberately. It could be sending a clearer email, improving posture, reading a chapter, or practicing patience. Even minimal effort matters because consistency matters more than intensity. Repetition trains your brain and strengthens discipline over time. Over weeks, these small improvements compound into significant change. Skills develop, habits solidify, and decision-making sharpens. The habit of improving one thing daily transforms your identity from reactive to intentional. You become someone who progresses steadily, regardless of external circumstances. 10. I end the day with reflection. The morning shapes direction. The evening shapes growth. How you start the day sets priorities, but how you end it determines what you learn and retain. Evening reflection turns experiences into insight and prepares you for tomorrow. Seneca advised reviewing the day before sleep. He suggested examining every action, thought, and decision. Identify where you acted with virtue and where you fell short. This process is not self-criticism but structured self-awareness. It trains judgment and builds accountability. Tell yourself each morning, tonight I will review my conduct honestly. By setting this intention, you prime your mind to observe your day with attention. You notice patterns of thought, habitual reactions, and areas for improvement. Reflection becomes automatic and consistent, rather than sporadic or reactive. Even a brief review strengthens self-discipline. You close the loop between intention, action, and insight. Each night, you reinforce standards and adjust strategy. Over time, reflection cultivates wisdom, improves decision-making, and solidifies your ability to respond to life with calm, focus, and integrity. How to apply this morning secret? Do not repeat these mechanically. Speak them slowly. Write them in a journal. Reflect for 5 minutes. Consistency matters more than intensity. After 30 days, your thinking patterns will shift. After 90 days, your identity strengthens. After 1 year, your behavior transforms. If this video helps you strengthen your mindset and build discipline, subscribe to this channel now. We share practical Stoic lessons, deep mental training strategies, and structured self-improvement content designed to sharpen your character and focus. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss powerful Stoic teachings that can transform your mornings and your life.